several of the same social media circles, but I noted you as a standout from a few of your YouTube videos. There's some that are, you have a ton of different YouTube videos out there, some that are just absolutely hysterical when you need that humor break. And there's that are so informative where you teach us all about different types of curriculum. So I'm definitely going to send people over to your YouTube channel, which is How to Homeschool. So please go check out Rebecca Devitt's YouTube channel for all sorts of information related to homeschooling. But especially, I connected with you. You popped up in a video for this new community called Made to Homeschool. This is something that is very different and very new. It's almost like having a homeschool convention right on your laptop. So can you tell us about your involvement with Made to Homeschool and what Made to Homeschool is? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so Made to Homeschool was launched, I think, last month, and it's a group of basically homeschool YouTubers and other influencers who are just contributing. So there's contributors, and it's I guess with a lot of other platforms, you have one influencer who's running the whole show, and then it's the other homeschool moms who join, who are creating most of the community. But in this case, you've got like 30 contributors who are always in on the community. We're kind of required to go in there and interact with people, if we want to be a contributor, because that way we're being actually active. And so a lot of us are really volunteering a lot of our time to new homeschool moms, and just trying to love them and teach them how to homeschool well, because I guess as a YouTuber, you sit there and for hours each day, you're nutting out the best way to solve this program, because you're like, well, I'm about to teach this to a whole bunch of people on YouTube. I better know how to do it. And so certainly for me, I've written over 300 articles on my website. I've got probably about 50 videos on my first channel, and this one's kind of it's probably got 125. So that's a lot of topics that, just for me, I've thought through. And a lot of the other homeschool mums have been homeschooling for, 10, 15, 20 years. And they have so much knowledge that it's like they're educating themselves practically every day. And then they spend time thinking and reflecting on it. And I think that's what you're getting with a lot of the Made to Homeschool contributors going in there. They're all Christian homeschool moms, which are beautiful. And so if you ask a question, that gets answered really quickly. And then also the community gets in and they can chat about that. So that's that side. So I guess it's a bit like a Facebook for homeschool groups. But they also have lots of training. So there's also live hangouts. So you can just go in there and hang out and chat, just kind of like we are, Kimberly. And you can ask your questions. And they're so friendly and so much fun. A lot of them are really fun personalities too. And then they have webinars on, if they're past webinars, you can just watch the replay, but then they also have live webinars where you can sign in and ask questions and have them answered. So, and there's other things as well, which I can't remember going on as well. Oh, that's right. There's loads of blogs and printables. I just submitted a whole bunch of printables for each different month. We're required to kind of put out either a video or a blog article. So it's just an education platform as well for homeschool mums. Oh, that's right. And I think I don't know if they're doing it yet, but they're going to do one-on-one Kimberly homeschool coaching. So you and a homeschool expert, a YouTube blogger or vlogger, can sit down like for a session and chat things through. So I don't know if they're doing that already, but that's Made to Homeschool. So it's a pretty exciting platform. And I was really blessed to have a chat to Brandon. So he's the guy who started running it. And to get to know him last year, he was actually teaching me how to do YouTube well. That's how I got involved with him. And he's just beautiful. Okay. He was a pastor, and he got the same thing, basically fibromyalgia like me, and couldn't work in his pastor's job anymore, so he had to quit. And then he's just started, he has a PC kind of background, so that's how that started. He was just praying and meeting lots of homeschool mums, and he's like, how can I marry this together? And he's like, we need community. And so this is what
Yes.
he's created. Yeah.
That sounds absolutely amazing. I've only looked at it just a little bit, and I am going to do a little bit of a video as well here to kind of show everyone as they're listening, because this is the one podcast that I put strictly on YouTube. I'm not using this on any other. It was kind of my experiment, if you will. My first podcast I put out on Podbean, and it distributes to a few others. But this one I wanted to just try exclusively on YouTube's new podcast feature. And it's actually doing better just on YouTube than it is on Podbean. So I think there's something about having that visual component, especially when it's something as personal as this, when you want to talk to someone else, to be able to have that visual component to it. But this platform sounds actually really amazing. You're not caught by this random ad on YouTube that's going to send you down an unnecessary rabbit hole. Chasing rabbit holes in homeschool is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if you're following your child learning. But when you're actually there to kind of get some help and get some support, you can get easily distracted, myself included, over some random news article or, oh, look, try Basixx, or something that pops up. But it sounds like having all of this in one place is very, very helpful. And I've also noticed, just kind of checking it out just for a little bit, it's incredibly affordable. Incredibly affordable. It's like, for the lowest plan, it's like $8 a month or something.
Yeah.
Less than a large coffee.
Yeah, that's right. So I think they have tiers where I think it starts at the bottom where you've got access to their community, and then kind of jumps one, and then the top tier is like the coaching tier where you can get that one-on-one help. But yeah, it is pretty exciting, isn't it? Yeah, because I have to admit, I don't go on social media because I'm very blessed. Other people distribute my videos, but I feel like I don't have time to properly homeschool my children, love my husband, do all these other things, and then I get so distracted on social media. But I get a bit, I get a bit frustrated, and sometimes I come down feeling a bit dampened by that. But I don't get that feeling on Made to Homeschool. I feel really supported and loved, and the mums are so positive. There's just so much positivity on there. And you're only allowed to talk about homeschooling, so it's very focused and niche. Yeah.
Well, and then there's also their fellow moms of faith, from what I understand. I've looked at and I'm familiar with several of the YouTubers that are on there. I'm actually subscribed to many of their channels. So it's a community that you can trust. You're going to be there with fellow moms of faith. You're not going to have anyone kind of slide into those Facebook groups the way they do, or any other social media group, if you will, where they're like, it's like that squirrel moment where they want to give you some random ad or draw you away from it, or give a random topic that's not going to be related to the point that you're all there for. It's kind of like, well, having coffee with friends instead.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah. It was, I think, when on launch day, we all hung out as contributors, and we all came in this massive, big live launch. And for, I can't remember how many hours it was, but for most of the day, we had YouTuber after YouTuber, like doing half an hour slots during the day. So I had 2 half-hour slots, which I tuned in for. And it was just so much fun just to interact with other homeschoolers and other YouTubers. And yeah, just a lot of fun.
Well, I think that Made to Homeschool sounds like a community that's, well, I've never heard of anything like it. And I think it's very much needed. And I personally cannot wait to see where it's going. I mean, it's only been out, maybe a month, maybe a little longer, not much, but I see great things on the horizon for it. So kudos to you and to the other fellow YouTubers for all of your hard work and coming together as part of that community, really for the greater good, because it's not just the communities there, it's for the homeschooling community as a whole. And it's needed. It's very much needed.
And I think that's why it was made. It was made to fill a gap where, homeschool parents just come in there and just feel completely bewildered and feel like they don't have any friends. And whereas if you decide to homeschool, you can join this community straight away, ask all your, so-called dumb questions, which are so what everybody else is thinking when they start homeschooling, and have them answered by people who know what they're talking about.
Yes.
Instant community.
Yes. And they're not going anywhere because they're right there online.
That's right. Because as you said, I think before we were talking about it before, often you'll try and find a homeschool co-op and it just won't work out for this or that reason. But the major homeschool communities, yeah, it's always there, and it's a beautiful community too.
Well, I'm going to have to check more of that out. I have to go over there and check more of that out because it's very exciting and something that's very neat. I've never seen anything like it. So I'm very excited for what's to come.
Yeah, me too.